So I'm continuing my series of Match Retro reviews with Season 2, Episode 14, Hot Lips and Empty Arms. So this is a Margaret Houlihan episode. And the episode kicks off with mail call. Everyone's getting letters, all that. And Margaret gets a letter from an old friend of hers who has a more successful life. Though, honestly, you could say Margaret actually has a truly most successful life. She volunteered as a nurse in the army. She reached the rank of major, and the army back then was pretty sexist, mind you, too. And the fact that she's, the head nurse, she has a lot going for her, in her career and all that, but the times and all that. And sounds like her friend's success is more of, her friend has married, has kids, her husband has a big home and swimming pool. Superficial stuff, especially the home and swimming pool part. But thing is, basically, Margaret gets jealous. Thinks that her life has, been rotting away. She has no social life. Actually, most people I don't think have a social life in the army. At least in the 477. Well, she doesn't because, as we see in later episodes, she doesn't really reach out to other people. Like it's a much later episode, but the episode Nurses where we delves into how she's built a wall between her and the nurses under her command that does not allow for any socialization. Really, the only person she really socializes with is Frank, and well, her relationship to Frank is entirely one-sided. He's just playing her. The fact that he's smart enough to play her. But yeah. So yeah, she's but she still has a good career in all things. Respectable career nowadays, definitely. Well, it depends on who you talk to, sadly. And back then, definitely, not everyone would view her military career as a woman with high esteem. But we're getting kind of off track with all that. She is angry during a session or she lashes out at everyone, the nurses, the doctors, pretty much everyone she lashes out at, but especially the nurses. And then she storms into Henry's office and requests a transfer. Of course, during her going away, she gets drunk. This is actually, I think, one of the few times, or first times, I should say, that we've seen Margaret drunk. And yeah, she gives pretty much everyone what she thinks of them. Hawkeye, Trapper, Frank, Henry. Though not Frank's. Henry probably has the nicest one where she compares him to his father, who she thinks is dead, though later on he's alive. Again, she's drunk right now, so an early continuity match. Continuity match has never really been a thing, anyhow. But basically, the end, she does not leave. But then again, a lot of stuff she's complaining about, especially from Hawkeye and Chapel, are really important things. Like some stuff nowadays Hawkeye and Chapel would not be able to get away with a lot of the stuff they've done. Borderline, if not assault, definitely harassment. So yeah, so some of the stuff they do is definitely crossing a modern day line. Back then, there would have been boys will be boys, but at the same time too, it's like she's running away from her problems instead of addressing them. But at the same time, sometimes you just gotta step away from certain problems. This episode is definitely, when it comes to some of the stuff I mentioned that she's frustrated at, is definitely a product of the times with how they deal with them. Because like I said, certain things like you should stand up, address, require an apology, but other things like sometimes you just gotta remove yourself from a situation that you find uncomfortable. And this episode of the match is definitely a product of its time where it's a lot more, the women should just deal with the boys will be boys mentality rather than actually addressing it. Though as match matures, they move away from that stuff as well. So like I said, it's great to get a good Margaret episode. Hopefully, her characterization, because she does loosen up a little bit in this episode. Maybe she'll not be as much of a party pooper, for lack of a better term. But at the same time, we do know that she gets a much more rounded character that's just a much better character. And this episode you could see as the start of that. We gotta pay attention to future episodes. But like I said, this episode is very much of a product of its time because how certain things that Margaret is frustrated at, we would deal with very differently nowadays, or at least comment on them very differently nowadays. But that's all I got for you today. I would love to hear your thoughts on Hot Lips and Empty Arms in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.